another batch of reasons that I believe this market is going to absolutely rampage to the upside before finally hitting a peak, and then, yes, the bubble will fully inflate, it will pop, and we'll end up in a bear market just like every time. But not before we've got our crack at life-changing wealth. Not before XRP goes into face-melting territory. The best is yet ahead. So I'm going to share with you perspective from a number of reputable chart analysts that I follow, and one on-chain analytics firm which really believes even Bitcoin is going to go way higher, which, look, I will be very happy to see, because the higher Bitcoin goes, the more profits can be taken from it and then shoved right back into the asset class, into coins like XRP. So yes, I want Bitcoin to do well, even though it's not what I'm most interested in on an individual level. It matters for all of the rest of my coins. So I'll share with you tons of perspectives, including one chart analyst who says that you should expect XRP to pump without stopping. And by the way, that's a direct quote. And $3.02, Bitcoin's at $122,498. And as I continue to insist, just my humble opinion, the best is yet ahead. And chart analyst Matthew Hyland clearly agrees with that. He shared this with his 164,000 followers on X. He wrote, "Over 4 years of pressure has been building on crypto, and it's about to be unleashed." Now, I will just tell you, I absolutely do buy into that concept. We haven't seen a full-on blow-off top for the market cycle. We're not seeing the crazy euphoria that has marked the top of every single crypto market cycle. There are so many reasons to just scream at us, no, this thing's not over, which is why I'm so excited about this, and especially what it means for XRP, which is, I'm biased. XRP happens to be my favorite individual coin. It's my largest individual holding here. But there are lots of reasons to believe that this is going to go higher. And so I want to share with you perspective to that end from on-chain analytics firm Swissblock. And this is run by the same guys at Glassnode, another on-chain analytics firm. And they're basically explaining why they believe Bitcoin's going to run way higher. Now, again, I know, and I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about XRP in this video, but even if you don't care about Bitcoin, that's perfectly fine. It's one of my larger holdings just because I've held it so long, but I don't care about it that much. Like when the price goes up, I don't get excited as much because my net worth is going up a bit because of Bitcoin. It's more so because I understand the higher Bitcoin goes, it's like I said at the outset of the video, the more money flows into everything else, including XRP. So I want Bitcoin to rampage higher. I want it to hit a new all-time high. And if that means we got to wait a little bit longer for alt season, hell yeah, I will happily wait just a little bit longer, because either way, we're at the tail end of this market cycle. And even if Bitcoin has topped, which I am not convinced of, but even if it has topped, it's possible, you're still going to have alt season, because that would just mean that the price, Bitcoin dominance still going to take, like, people will still take profit even from where it is, and they're going to shove it into altcoins. I mean, that's what happened in 2017. I was there for that. That's what happened in 2021. Many of you were there for that as well. And there's no reason to think that people are just going to be like, no, I don't want to cycle my profit into here. I'm no longer a greedy little bitch. I was in 2021 and 2017, but now I'm not. No, that's not how humans work, folks. The humans investing in these risk-on assets, in equities as well as crypto, their DNA hasn't changed. Their tendencies haven't changed. To think that they're suddenly going to act differently just does not compute to me. That would be shocking to me. This time is not different. So here's what Swissblock said. The move that took Bitcoin from $117,000 down to $108,600 was a constructive reset, not capitulation. It showed stress in the system, but not fragility. Resets like these create opportunity. The short-term holder cost basis, which is about $111,600 for Bitcoin, continues to act as the pivot between bullish continuation and bearish risk. 5 successful defenses since May highlight structural resilience. At the same time, the structure shift kept rising during the dip. Clear signal that demand stepped in and absorbed supply. A constructive reset, not fragility. Now, folks, I got to point out, this is organic demand that they are talking about here. This just happened naturally. And as you'll see, let me get through this. There's also not a lot of resistance ahead, but more on that in just a minute or two. Anyway, Swissblock continues. Breaking $117,000 is more than a technical move. In the $114,000 to $118,000 range, late buyers from August were looking to exit. Absorbing that cluster and keeping it unlocks the path toward all-time high retests. This rally revealed something crucial. Listen to this, folks. Long-term holders have cooled their selling intensity. They're still distributing, but with far less conviction. This eases supply pressure and allows new participants to accumulate. Historically, when strong hands finish distributing, a new accumulation phase begins. This pattern creates bullish stability in the structure. And folks, that is the moment that they're arguing we're in right now. So less distribution, and there's been organic purchasing. And at least right now, one analyst I'll show you in a second is arguing there's really not a sell wall above us here. So this thing can freaking rampage. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. And he wrote, Bitcoin continues to follow last year's playbook as warned, whilst the masses panicked. The Q4 rally is upon us. Enjoy the bumpy yet explosive ride. Bears better look next time. And so, yes, I understand that the current narrative is that Q4 is going to be hot. And a lot of times when you see narratives getting bandied about on social media, it's just garbage. Like people just start parodying the same thing over and over again. This particular one I do buy into because there's data to back it. There's data indicating that the S&P 500 historically, with the setup that we have right now, as I've gone into great detail in recent videos, it means that you do have a positive Q4. There's all sorts of historic data to indicate if you fast forward even into 2026, you should be higher. And if indeed that is the case, and you understand that the crypto asset class follows equities, then you understand why I'm excited about that and why I have the conviction that I have. I don't know for sure that's going to happen. I'm just playing the odds. And the odds state, I mean, if you just look at historic precedent, because humans keep acting the same in similar situations, the odds are in our favor that this goes way higher. So that's why, in a nutshell, yeah, I do buy into the Q4 narrative here. But it's not just some narrative to me. It's based on actual historic data. That matters. Here's a post from chart analyst CW, Bitcoin price chart here. He says, Bitcoin still has no sell wall. Also, a buy wall has formed at $116,700. So, look, that's going to make it that much harder for Bitcoin price to tank a lot lower. So it can go lower. He's noting here, there's going to be a lot of people ready to purchase Bitcoin if the price of $116,000 roughly is presented. But on the flip side, are there a bunch of people that's ready to sell at like the same level? No, there's no sell wall. There's thin air above. Now, of course, one can form. But he posted this. When did he post it? Like an hour ago? Oh, a half hour ago. Yeah, it's now 1:16 a.m. as I record this. So he posted this at 12:45 a.m. He posted this 31 minutes ago now. And at the time he posted this, there's no sell wall, folks. So that means if demand starts picking up, there's not going to be a bunch of sell pressure at particular levels to prevent us from going way, way, way higher. We just need to see the demand pick up. And there's really not anything to stop it. You need to see it. But we're sitting pretty here, folks. I'm just telling you, we're sitting pretty. Here's what CW had to say about XRP. He just shared this XRP USD chart in one of his posts, actually from a couple days ago, October 2nd. XRP is breaking out of its convergence. A new rally is beginning. So he reposted that and a little over 12 hours ago. And you can see he's pushing for, in the short term here, for XRP to enter price discovery in a face-melting way and get up to like closer to $4.60. Not that it would peak there, but just to get the party started again, Here's a post from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto, and he's talking about Bitcoin here. It says, Bitcoin dominance pumping, while Bitcoin is also pumping, is extremely bullish for altcoins, if you understand. Now, this is the same idea that was shared by chart analyst Bobby A, and I highlighted that from Bobby A in my last video, and then I came across this from Mikey Bull Crypto. He's arguing the same thing, like, yes, absolutely, and I know that this is true. Because if Bitcoin dominance is increasing, as Bitcoin price is going up, that means that Bitcoin's, for the moment anyway, the star. That's the star. That's where people are throwing their money, and the higher Bitcoin goes, it's what I've been saying throughout this video, the more profit will ultimately be taken from Bitcoin and then flow into altcoins. That's why he's excited for this. That's the same reason that Bobby A was saying the same damn thing. You want Bitcoin to go as high as possible. So if you get this reversal where in the short term, dominance starts to climb up even just a bit, look, at the same time, the price is going up. That is fantastic. That is incredibly bullish for altcoins. And so it has gone up a little bit. It's gone up about 1.5% compared to the low about a week ago. So it's not like a crazy amount. And I don't know how high it's going to go. I mean, he drew a line here going up to like 66% again. I mean, if it does that, that'd be badass, actually. I'm kind of skeptical it's going to go quite that high. But if it does, great. Even just a bit higher, though, while the price of Bitcoin is climbing, whew, I'm just telling you, you'll love to see it. And that's what's happening right now. Then there was this from Mikey Bull Crypto. This is the others chart. The others chart, of course, is the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding the top 10 coins by market cap. That's what's on your screen here. And he wrote, MACD bullish cross on the altcoins cap chart. Whenever it happened, alt season usually followed. You can see what he's talking about right here. That's the cross. That's what he's talking about right now. And you can see when this happened several years ago, that's what set off, set into motion what was ultimately the alt season for 2021. That's what set it in motion. You can see how it changed. So, I mean, look, understand MACD, that is a momentum indicator, my friends. So, is this time different? I don't think so, folks. I do not think this time is different. Here's a post from chart analyst XRP on the screen here. It says technical target of this pennant is around $5.70 plus or minus. If given the length and time of the breakout is the same as the previous breakout, that should put XRP $5 to $6 by late October. And mind you, that's not something he's promising. It's not a full-throated prediction, but he's just saying, if the past kind of plays out like this, if past is prologue, well, then here's what it looks like, And by the way, it can happen that quick. When XRP finally starts going, I mean, history tells us when the rampage starts in the final parabolic rally for XRP for a market cycle, it lasts a few weeks. That's it. From when it starts going to the top, it's a few weeks. So hopefully you guys got your plans in place because you're not going to have much time to exit if you want to exit. I'm just saying. It's going to happen really fast, and it's going to be really intimidating on the way up because you're going to be fearful. Every human's like this. You're going to be fearful that you're selling too soon. And there are a lot of people that accidentally round trip as a result. Here's a post from chart analyst Tara, XRP on the screen here. Wrote, XRP just reached target resistance at $2.99. A couple things that I wanted to highlight is that even though the fifth wave macro hit the target at the 618 at $3.65, it does not have a bearish divergence yet on the relative strength index, and the waves of the fifth wave look incomplete with the wave it's in now as a possible wave 4 or 5. Wave 4's technical target has been reached already at $2.78. And so obviously, as you well know, in recent days, market took a bit of a plunge, and we've more than recovered a little bit since then, obviously. I mean, what was Bitcoin down to, like 108,000 and something, then it got up to above $123,000. It went up like about $15,000 in a matter of days. You freaking love to see it. Anyway, and then she says, however, the subwaves have a gap at the missed fib down there at $2.65. If it cannot break above resistance now, that is where I will be targeting. If XRP does break up above the critical $3 level, I think we'll be in the clear to track the rest of the 5 waves to a new high of $3.95. Bitcoin is everything right now. Okay, so fair enough, Bitcoin leads the way directionally, but we actually have broken above that after she posted this. We're sitting above $3. We have been for a while now. So assuming that holds, according to what she's stating here, we are going to be getting back above the all-time high. So yet another new all-time high for XRP this year, and getting into the, price discovery with a little bit of face melting along the way. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of time. Here's a post from chart analyst X-Force Global, XRP USD on the screen. It says, if Bitcoin behaves on future pullbacks, expect XRP to pump without stopping. XRP might have saved itself and secured a lower degree wave 4, now working for a wave 5 to complete off a higher degree wave 1. In simple English, up only on a few conditions. And so as far as XRP pumping without stopping, that may be roughly what it looks like on a chart. Now, realistically, even in 2017, what was the most impressive XRP run in history to that point, there were many pullbacks along the way. Like I said, M-I-N-I, many, like tiny ones, miniature. As XRP took 3 weeks to pump, once it started going in the middle of December, it went for 3 weeks. And it wasn't literally up in a straight line, but if you zoom out on a chart, it basically looks like it is. So that's what he's actually referencing. But again, to my point a couple minutes ago, that is what happens. Just be prepared for that. History tells us you should expect XRP when it does start going on its final run to give you maybe a few weeks. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 3 weeks. Maybe we'll get lucky and it's 4 weeks. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's going to be short-lived, and that will be your opportunity to get your life-changing wealth. It's a small window, but it's coming if history is to rhyme with itself. And that's what I'm betting on. I just don't believe for a moment that XRP spent all of these years consolidating, being attacked and artificially suppressed, only to rebound, hit a few all-time highs, a little bit above the all-time high from 2018, and just to be like, okay, that's enough, I'm an XRP and I'm done now. No, I don't think so, folks. I just don't think so. And I feel the same about the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000, small cap stocks, we finally hit a new all-time high on a close, mind you, not just intraday. And it's for the first time in almost 4 years. You really think that the Russell 2000 is likely to just flirt with that level, actually hit a couple new all-time highs, and be like, I'm done now? Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. If you're playing the odds here, that's not how historically the Russell 2000 behaves. And so if that thing goes, that has been a trigger for alt season historically. Every time that son of a bitch is gone, alts go with it. That will be roughly the time period when you should expect that XRP will start rocketing as well. And that will be the end of the cycle. Here's a post from chart analyst Javon Marks. He says, XRP surging off of smaller breakout retest, and that $4.80 target is still in play. Prices could be early in a major run to meet it. So he's talking about in the short term getting up to about $4.80. To me, it would be wild to think that what is most probable, though nobody knows for sure, including me. I don't know for sure. It's just wild to me that there are actual humans out there walking this earth, breathing the same air that I'm breathing, thinking that what is most probable is that we're going to have a breakdown and the best is already behind us for this market cycle. How can you reasonably think that's the case? It doesn't compute to me. History rhymes with itself. If you just play those odds, you look at what happened in the past, and then keep betting on roughly the same thing happening, you're going to be right the vast majority of the time. Like, just doing that. It does mean you will be wrong sometimes, as I was talking about in my last video. That's true. So if I just keep talking this way in every single circumstance, you're going to find that I'm wrong sometimes, but it'll be a small percentage of the time. Because humans keep behaving the same over and over and over again. Humans, when confronted with a certain set of circumstances, tend to behave about the same. That's why history rhymes with itself. So to bet against that doesn't make any damn sense all up in this bitch. That's my opinion. I'm just saying, folks. I will say again, the best is yet ahead. XRP will go into face melt season.